What do you make of these Minnesota, quote, leaders and how they seem to be genuinely endangering these ICE officers?
Well, they're endangering the ICE officers and they're endangering their own citizens because, if I was just sitting at home and somebody ran into my house and said, hey, there's some jackbooted thugs from the government and they're kicking open doors and they're grabbing innocent Americans and mothers and pregnant women and dragging them out to vans and disappearing them in gulags in South America, I would grab an axe or baseball bat and I would go running out of the house if that's what we thought was happening, and it would make me a hero for doing it. I mean, we had the French resistance. The French resistance were heroes because they had Nazis and they were occupied and they were able to sabotage and cause damage and kill. And, they forged papers, they forged documents, they wore uniforms, they did everything they could to hurt the Nazis, and they're considered heroes for that. So if these are Nazis, then why wouldn't you be the rebirth of the French resistance? And then that would thus make you a hero. So what they are saying, what they're saying when they say, they're not saying go out and bonk an ICE officer over the head. They're not saying that. What they're saying is we have an occupation by a dangerous rogue government agency that's kicking open doors and disappearing people of color. That is you saying bonk people over the head. That's what you're saying.
Yes. Let me put an exclamation point on it here with more from Tim Walz, and listen to the words he uses in this SOT 11.
Donald Trump wants this chaos. He wants confusion. And yes, he wants more violence on our streets. We cannot give him what he wants. We must protest loudly, urgently, but also peacefully. Tonight, I want to share another way you can help. Witness. Help us establish a record of exactly what's happening in our communities. You have an absolute right to peacefully film ICE agents as they conduct these activities. So carry your phone with you at all times. And if you see these ICE agents in your neighborhood, take out that phone and hit record. Help us create a database of the atrocities against Minnesotans, not just to establish a record for posterity, but to bank evidence for future prosecution.
I do think it's funny that this douchebag reminded every 32-year-old woman to bring their phone with them when they leave the house, as if you need that heads up. Yeah. Look, he's dumb. He's off. It's weird. We're living in a time where the people who think they're heroes are the evil ones in this group, and of course, they have to paint Trump as an arch villain from a comic book movie so that they can paint themselves as the heroes. So it's not really about painting Trump as a villain for the sake of portraying him as a villain. It's so they can narcissistically make themselves into heroes.
Yeah. God, thank you so much for saying that. So this is what when I was watching that tape of them trying to get the weapons successfully out of the ICE vehicle. That's what I was thinking to myself, Adam. These are like the frustrated loser AV kids from high school who never were popular, who actually weren't on the football team, who probably got their asses kicked more than once, who suddenly now feel like Navy SEALs out there.
Right.
And like they're ready to, show some swagger for the first time in their lives. Notice the ICE agents are actually nowhere near the actual scene, but it does seem like cosplaying.
It is. And I mean, that's why in the last decade, you've heard the term hero and superstar, and they do the Academy Awards, and then the woman wins Best Actress, and then she gets up there and she says Matt Damon is brave and he's braver than any actor I've ever worked with, and everyone's a hero, everyone's a superstar, everyone is brave. It's all the talk because there's a vacuum of actual events that make you a hero. It used to have to be Audie Murphy and charge a German machine gun nest or disarm a guy with a gun on the subway or something. You had to do activities that put your life in danger in order to be called a hero. And these cowards do not want to put themselves into danger, but they do like the mantle of hero. So they create this comic book talk about standing up and fighting back. Like, think about, and by the way, most of this is women, which is insane. Think about this concept. You have these school teachers. It's a middle-aged, paunchy female school teacher. It's a 46-year-old overweight woman with no weapons and no training whatsoever. She announces on the internet, if ICE comes to her class, they have to go through her first. Okay, what does that even mean? She has no training. She has no weapons. She's fat. She's slow, and she's dumb. So ICE can easily go through her. Now, she knows she's never going to see this scenario, but she can announce on the internet that ICE is going to have to go through her or Trump is going to have to go through them. And then they get to cast themselves as heroes. And that's what it's all about. It's all about narcissism in an age of no religion. So they're not religious.
That's so true.
And their religion is them and their narcissism. And they all talk about standing and fighting. I mean, if you listen to all their talk, it's all insanely narcissistic.
Yes. Okay. And then when the chips are down, they cower. Like yesterday, we played the soundbite of the mom who'd been harassing ICE. But then when they actually got up in her face, she was like, I'm just a mom. I'm just a mom. Oh, please let me go. Please, please, please. Which then they did. And now I have another one for you today where I'm going to show you two soundbites. Here, first are ICE agents confronting this driver who had been using her car to harass ICE. Watch shot 17. Listening audience, they're trying to open the door. They get the passenger's door open. She's screaming bloody murder. That's ICE harassers blowing whistles. That's their thing. Sorry, it's annoying.
Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back.
Pushing people away. All right, so you get the gist. They're getting this woman out of her car after she refused. We got to get out of this soundbite because the whistles are so annoying, which is their goal.
I feel horrible.
And then check out 18.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, stand by. There's one more. 18 is the follow-up.
I want to move my car! I am disabled! I have a brain injury!
Stay back.
I am autistic and I have a brain injury! Put me down! I was just trying to get to the doctor and I'm autistic!
Adam.
Great.
So she was impeding the enforcement operation. She refused to get out of her car. They had to break her window to get her out of there so they could move the cars, they could do their jobs. Now they're carrying her away and she's saying, I'm autistic, I have a brain injury, and I was just on my way to my doctor for my brain injury because I'm disabled. I'm sorry, I can't.
All right. A few things. You know, it's interesting. Every single one of these ICE stories, when it gets reported by the LA Times or the New York Times, starts out like every single story of white cop shoots unarmed black man for minding his own business. And then at some point, we all get to learn the truth. And then the New York Times loses more credibility. But they all have the same trajectory, right? Gentle giant, hands up, don't shoot, walking away from this cop. At every single one of these arrests or injuries or shots fired or people killed, it all has the exact same trajectory because the exact same news outlets are reporting on it and they're all biased in one direction. And I have no idea why they want to destroy their credibility. And I thought they learned over COVID and over Black Lives Matter and all that, but they evidently did not learn their lesson.
They have no desire to learn it. I'm just pulling up a little bit more detail on this woman. First of all, here's the Drudge, which has gone completely left. Headline on this: shock video, ICE terrorizes another woman. The New Republic: ICE violently arrests woman trying to pass them to get to the doctor.
Right.
Mother Jones. This is what ICE descending on Minneapolis looks like. Turns out she's an activist. Her name is Aaliyah Rahman, 42, U.S. born. Per her Tech for Social Justice profile, she's a social justice trainer who dedicates her time to LGBTQ and racial injustice causes. She's a registered Dem who says she threw herself into activism work while studying aeronautical engineering at Purdue. She doesn't sound that disabled to me. Rahman, who identifies as being gender queer, was dating a transgender man at the time and claimed that due to the culture in rural Indiana, it was a necessity that she become involved in advocacy work. She was taken into custody again on Tuesday for the alleged assault of an ICE officer, according to DHS. They have not yet filed charges against her. But that's what we're dealing with. But, according to all those publications, it's just a disabled lady who got harassed by the evil ICE. I mean, they're supposed to be like, oh, she's disabled. Put her down. She's autistic. Sure, Jan, sure.
Right. So that's back to the cartoon superhero comic book theme, right? Because people also shame on the people that read these publications. Use your fucking brain for just a second, would you?
Yes.
ICE is going door to door, randomly kicking open doors, grabbing citizens who look different than them and disappearing them. That's impossible. It's impossible, you idiots who believe all this shit. The woman is driving to the hospital. She wants to meet with their neurosurgeon. She's just going down a side street. Next thing you know, ICE pulls them out. That's impossible because there's nothing in it for ICE. It'd be the worst publicity in the world. And everybody's in their car driving somewhere. So how would it work? They just pull over every 42-year-old woman who's driving a Honda Accord? Use your brains, idiot.
A new year means new financial goals like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower right now and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898 to check it out. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.